Oh, NFL. Cole Sports presents on the Daily. Well, how are you, VIP? Welcome to this wonderful Friday. Cole Johnson's on the mic on the Daily Sun Tap presented by Cole Sports. And if you haven't done so already, like this video. And I want to hear what you have to say. Comment below. And don't forget to hit that notification bell and subscribe to this channel for any and all premiere videos of any content from Cole Sports. And if you want this wonderful shirt that I have, this beautiful blue beauty right here, the description box below has all the details necessary. Now, today's Friday. You know how I get down. And I'm not going to get down any different, even with this subject matter. And the subject matter is the fact that the NFL is in a bit of trouble. What trouble do I mean? Well, it looks like a couple of teams have had to deal with that nasty C word. No, not the word that you want to use at times when you're angry. No, not that one. I'm talking about COVID-19. Unfortunately, a few teams have had to deal with that bug, literal and figurative. And that is the subject of this week's Email the National Football League. CC, the National Football League Players Association. Subject of email, save your season. Body of email. Look, you went through a training camp session throughout August. You got to the end of September with no outbreaks. Everything seemed to be just fine, right? You had it all figured out. And then it starts. After after week 3, things seemed to be fine because everything was great. You were having teams that were, that we were talking about that might be the best in the league between the Packers and the Seahawks and the Chiefs and some surprises like the Steelers and the Titans. But it all got hijacked when the Titans came back home from Twin Cities, and they had an outbreak reported of the novel coronavirus. And apparently it was a couple of Viking players that caught it too. But it was not nearly as bad as the Titans staff and players. Because if I'm not mistaken, I think it was 6 staff members and now 8 or 9 Titans players who came down with this infection of the novel coronavirus. This is not a game. This is not a game. People want to say, well, heck, I mean, I can still do what I do. I can just go where I feel where I please. I don't need to concern myself with this. Really? You don't, huh? Okay. All right. Don't concern yourself with this. In fact, this is what you get from me. Simply put, the NFL needs to find a way to get ahead of this and to get a hold of this. Now, this is what bothers me about all of this, Shield. You said that you had a handle on all this, right? You said that you didn't have to worry about it, that you had these helmets that were specifically built for COVID-19, and you had protocol that was co-signed by the NBA and NHL, because quite frankly, both leagues have actually done well in keeping COVID-19 at bay. I mean, NHL went without a hitch with all of their playoffs, and they've concluded with theirs. And the NBA, well, they've concluded with theirs too. I mean, and no coronavirus outbreaks or no COVID-19 personnel, players, coaches, or, well, not fans, but uh, front office members. None of them caught it. Same with the NHL. But you took the route of the Major League Baseball variety. And you say, well, we play outside. We're not indoors. We don't have to worry about things being confined inside of the building. We're not going to be like the NBA, who that is what we had to concern ourselves with in March when we had to basically shut down a whole arena and quarantine them. That's not going to happen. We don't have to worry about that.
You for real?
You got to worry about that now. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I have an issue with the NFLPA too, because you all co-signed on this as well. You all said, well, the protocol seems to be fine. There's no problem. None whatsoever.
You've got to be joking me.
So along with the Titans contracting this virus and seemingly 1/6 of the team having the virus, now we have the most high profile player in the NFL catching this coronavirus during the 2020 regular season, that being the Patriots' Cameron Newton. Now, I think the NFL felt okay. I think you felt okay, NFL, because it was concentrated on one specific and one particular team. You figured, okay, well, all right, it'll affect the Titans and it'll affect who they play, and they were going to be playing the Steelers this past Sunday, and you had to push that back. And now they won't be. They didn't play this past Sunday. They'll play 2 Sundays from this weekend. So instead of playing in instead of playing week 4, they're playing in week 7. Before the weekend slate of games started last weekend, the Chiefs and the Patriots had to cancel their game of the week because that was going to be the game that we were focused on. Arrowhead Stadium was going to be a buzz with the battle of Cam Newton versus Patrick Mahomes. And we didn't see that. And we couldn't see that because, well, the virus and all, right? You all tried to gamble and roll the dice because you had a player in rookie cornerback A.J. Terrell of the Falcons be placed on COVID-19 relief reserves. But you went on and played the game in the ATL anyway against the Bears that they lost 30-26. And you all thought, okay, well, we can still handle this and we can still keep playing. And if a team gets infected like the Titans did, well, we can look and see if we can maneuver buys. The week they get infected, that'll be their bye, and then they'll play whatever game they have later on that year. That's not how it works. That's not how it works at all. You can roll that dice. You can feel the need to, I guess you could say, position this like pieces in a chessboard. But quite frankly,
this whole thing stinks to high heaven.
Please, pretty please, Shield. Learn the lessons from Major League Baseball, because it took them having 2 different big-time outbreaks, one with the Marlins, and then 2 weeks later with the Cardinals, for them to actually tighten down on their protocol, and they had a minor outbreak with the Mets leading into September, the rest of the way. I love football. I love football. In fact, I love the National Football League's brand of football more than any other. It is my favorite sport to watch. Besides boxing history, it is my favorite thing to talk about sports-wise. So if you are at this crossroads and you just don't want to acknowledge it, you have issues. So, Shield, what's it going to be? Are you going to push forward and cross your fingers and hope that this does not turn into an absolute nightmare? Or are you going to take the proper precautionary measures and step up your protocol, step up your preventive maintenance, and make sure that your athletes don't get infected and your whole organizations don't, like the Titans did? Which leads to the third option, which I don't want to see, but if it keeps going the way it is, I want to see it because I want these players protected. That we don't have football at all. We don't have football in October. We don't see football in Thanksgiving. We don't see football around Christmas. We don't even see football in January. I'm not saying that's what I want to see. I'm saying I want to see that happen if the outbreak gets worse. Because I don't want to have any of these athletes risk their lives. And I do mean lives, not their livelihoods, their lives, just to entertain me or any other football fan, because it's not worth it. Now, will our fixes get reduced to the college game? Because seemingly NFL, which this, I cannot believe I'm about to say what I'm about to say. But it looks like they have a handle on this that you all don't. How, I have no earthly clue, because they got more players to concern themselves with than you all do. But hundreds of different programs, there isn't one outbreak. Yet 32 teams, we already have one big outbreak, and we have a major player who has contracted the virus within a week's time. Shield, you promised these players would be safe. You promised them that. Otherwise, the NFLPA wouldn't have signed off on saying, okay, we'll go forth and we'll proceed with the 2020 season. You were like, we're fine. Everything is good. It reminds me of what the NFL correspondent to Cole Sports, Christian Simpson, said to me in a conversation about this. And he said, quote, the players who opted out of playing in 2020, they're looking real smart right now. Close quote. And quite frankly, I agree with him. They are looking pretty smart right now because the NFL looks like they're just rolling the dice. They don't know which way to go, which way to turn, and if they can see their way out or through this stew of a pandemic that still lacks a vaccine. Cole Johnson, Cole Sports with a Z.com. Now, if you think, well, Cole, the NFL, they have it under control. You don't have anything to worry about. Or if you think that they should actually step up their methods and take more precautionary measures to make sure their players aren't infected, I want to hear what you have to say. Like this video, comment below. I want to hear if COVID-19 is going to wreck this season or not, and subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell to get any and all premiere episodes and videos of On the Daily and Another Thing and any other Cole Sports content. Well, that's all the time I have, not just for today, but for the week. Have a wonderful weekend, VIP. I love you. Take care of yourself. Take care of those you love. And for that, I love you and I thank you. This has been yet another installment of Cole Sports on the visual and on the daily.